Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome to our online class. Standard 12, Subject Economics, Lesson 3, Theories of Employment and Income. In this lesson, we are going to see the introduction, the meaning of full employment, the meaning of unemployment, the detailed important persons of JB says and J.M. Keynes. JB says law of market and J.M. Keynes theory of income and employment. After that, we are going to see the types of unemployment. Clear? Let us see one by one. Chapter 3, Theory of Employment and Income. Unemployed people suffer the demoralization, frustration, and loss of self-respect that come from enforced idleness. This quote was given by Vonnegut P. and Vonnegut R. These are the two persons, very important persons, J.B. Say, that is Jean Baptiste Say. His full name is. He is an classical economist, and J.M. Keynes, the father of modern macroeconomics. And this person, already we have this economist, J.M. Keynes, we have seen already in first lesson. And he is a new economist. About him, we are going to talk about in this lesson. Let us go ahead for the introduction. Both classical economists, for example, J.B. Say is a classical economist and J.M. Keynes is modern economist. Both these classical and modern economists have explained the relationship between the employment and income in this lesson. The classical economists had great faith in the law of markets, which was said by J.B. Say. J.M. Keynes says that it is one of the greatest and most influential economists in the 20th century. Before we are going inside the lesson, we should know the meaning for full employment. What do you mean by full employment? Full employment refers to a situation in which every person who is willing to work at the prevailing wage rate is employed. Keynes defines the full employment as the absence of involuntary unemployment. In other words, full employment means that the persons who are willing to work and able to work must have employment or a job. Let us go ahead for unemployment meaning. Unemployment refers to those who are willing to work and able to work but can't find suitable jobs. While formulating the policies to solve the problem of unemployment in India, for instance, we need to distinguish between the nature of unemployment in rural areas and in urban areas. India's rural economy has both unemployment and underemployment. The major feature of rural employment is the existence of unemployment in the form of disguised unemployment and seasonal unemployment. In India, frictional, structural, and open employment exists in urban areas due to urbanization. A large number of people move from rural areas to urban areas. This migration from rural to urban areas increases the size of labor force in urban areas and adds to the already unemployed labor force. In a short, I can say that in India, the nature of employment in rural areas are found in the form of disguised unemployment and seasonal unemployment. Frictional, structural, and open unemployment exists in urban areas. Now, let us come to types of unemployment. In developing countries like India, the nature of unemployment is different from that of developed countries. In developed countries, the unemployment is purely temporary or cyclical or frictional. But in the developing countries, it is largely structural unemployment, which is due to the slow rate of capital formation, which it has been shortly given on the top of this slide. Developing countries, purely temporary or cyclical or frictional. Developing countries, structural unemployment. The following are the types of unemployment. 1. Cyclical unemployment. 2. Seasonal unemployment. 3. Frictional unemployment. 4. Educated unemployment. 5. Technical unemployment. 6. Structural unemployment. 7. Disguised unemployment. Let us see all these types in detail one by one. Cyclical unemployment. This unemployment exists during the downturn phase of the trade cycle, that is, business cycle in the economy. In a business cycle, during the period of recession and depression, income and output fall, leading to widespread unemployment. It is the caused by deficiency of effective demand. Cyclical unemployment can be cured by public investment or expansionary monetary policy. Second, seasonal unemployment. Unemployment occurs during certain seasons of the year. In agriculture and agro based industries are carried out only in some season. Therefore, people may remain unemployed during the off season or in some seasons. These industries offer employment only during that season in a year. Therefore, people may remain unemployed during off season. Seasonal unemployment happens from demand side also. Example, ice cream industry, holiday resorts, etc. Third one, frictional unemployment. This unemployment will also be called as temporary unemployment. Frictional unemployment arises due to imbalance between the supply and the labor and the demand for labor. This is because of immobility of labor, lack of necessary skills, breakdown of machinery, shortage of raw materials, etc. The persons who lose the jobs and in search of the jobs are also included under frictional unemployment. 4. Educated unemployment. Sometimes educated people are underemployed or unemployed when qualification does not match for the job. Faulty education system, lack of employable skills, mass students turnout, and reference for white collar jobs are highly responsible for unemployment in India. Highly responsible for the people who are educated, and for them it is an unemployment problem. It is especially in India. Next, technical unemployment. Modern technology, being capital intensive, requires less laborers and contributes to technological unemployment. Nowadays, invention and innovations lead to the adoption of new techniques, thereby, existing workers are retrenched. What do you mean by retrenched? It is an organization or individual reduce the spending amount or the cost in response to the economic activity or in difficulty time. Labor saving devices are responsible for the technological unemployment. Next, sixth one, structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is due to drastic change in the structure of the society, lack of demand for the product, or shift in demand to other products cause this type of unemployment. For example, rise in demand for mobile phones has adversely affected the demand for cameras, tape recorders, etc. So, this kind of unemployment results from massive and deep rooted changes in economic structure. Let us go to last one, disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment occurs when more people are there than what is actually required. Even if some workers are withdrawn, production does not suffer. This type of unemployment is found in agriculture. I think we have talked about disguised unemployment in 11th standard in detail. A person is said to be disguised by unemployed if his contribution to output is less than what he can produce by work ending for the normal hours per day. In this situation, marginal productivity of labor is zero or less or negative. So far, we have completed what is unemployment, what is employment, who is the classical economist in this lesson, and who is modern economist in this lesson, and what importance they are giving for income and employment, and types of unemployment, that is seven types: cyclical employment, seasonal employment, frictional employment, educated unemployment, technical unemployment, structural unemployment, and disguised unemployment. Seven types of unemployment we have talked in this uh, episode. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.